Welcome to At the Buzzer Radio with your host, Jacob Force. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Are you listening?
Welcome back, everybody. At the Buzzer Radio with your boy. Got another one coming. Got Sleepy Sonova over here. She's not going to wake up at all. Woo! We back. Another episode coming to you. It's been a minute. I know you guys got my Super Bowl predictions up on YouTube. I didn't put it up on Spotify. I probably should have, but I did have my dad up on there, and that was awesome. We just kind of did a little impromptu live streaming to YouTube just for the fun of it. And I think we did pretty good. He picked Tampa Bay, and I picked the Chiefs, which in hindsight, he won. You know, I'm glad I didn't bet money on that because that would have been obviously disastrous for me. But, it was a really good game. But we'll get into that later in the show. Let's start it off with an announcement. EA Sports is bringing back NCAA football. Hopefully in 2021. So that's super exciting. I grew up playing those games as a kid. I used to take Oregon State to the championship every single year. It's just like a fun game. It was just like a childhood memory, and they did take it off, selling it because of rights to the players. They wanted, they duly noted want to get paid for it if you put your likeness and your name and stuff into the game. Actually, I'm not sure if they put the name into it, but they did put their likeness and their number, and you knew, it was whoever it was back in the day. I think the last NCAA was 14, I want to say, and that was a good one. Oregon was always super super exciting to play with too. Like they had the Michael James back in the day, dude. He was in that game. Whoo, he was so fast. I mean, obviously he went to the pros, but I'm pretty sure it was Michael James. It's been so long, like that, like NCAA. I'm glad you're back. It's gonna be exciting. You could take Idaho State to the championship every year and beat Alabama. So it's just kind of a fun game. I'm glad it's back. I do believe they worked out some sort of agreement with either paying the players. I think they might do it like the Madden. So in the NFL, when you're like in Madden, everyone gets like a $10,000 check, let's say. It depends on obviously the agreement. So they all get a check for the whole game. Like everyone gets the same amount, depending on obviously who is there. So I'm wondering if it's the same way for the NCAA game, if they're just going to do a flat rate for everybody. I mean, the problem is with the NCAA, I mean, we'll probably get into this discussion later on. I really want my dad's take on this later as well. But, they do have obviously back and forth with should the players be paid or not. And I've always been kind of anti in the sense of you do get scholarships, which is awesome. But I do believe if you have opportunities to use your likeness, like if someone, especially if a video game is using your likeness without, I don't think they have them signing it at all. So if you are allowed to use your likeness, I do believe you should get paid for it for sure. So I don't think that's a far stretch. So that's going to be exciting to see that back. Another fun little gag to start off the show. Gronkowski. So Rob Gronkowski, he was obviously with the Patriots with Tom Brady back in the day. He retired for 2 years, I believe. He, was loving retirement, doing the Gronk fashion. He was even dancing with the Los Angeles Lakers, like cheerleaders at one point. He was just loving retirement, right? So he got back into football. He wanted to play again, and he did join up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, obviously, who just won the Super Bowl this last year. And a really funny story came out. They had, obviously, COVID workouts, so in the beginning, and it was hard to do full-on workouts with the teams. Obviously, there's different protocols based on COVID. So what they had them do is do workouts, and they would film. So each would do individual workouts, I believe, at home or maybe like at the practice facility, but just with them, and they would film them. And Gronkowski was smart in the sense of Gronkowski. He would do all 15 of his workouts in one day. He would just change his shirt every single time, every single take, and he would film them all one after the other. And then for the next, however many days he needed, he would just every day send the video that he filmed on that one day into, the Tampa Bay's coaches. And then he would be able to just take the rest of the day off the rest of the time because he already got his workout in all in one day, which I'm wondering, is that easier? Like, I'm sure these workouts are gruesome, right? So how would you do that all in one day? That's actually pretty impressive to get all of your workouts done in one day. I'm sure the rest time after that day was horrendous. But, it's just a really funny, it's definitely a Gronk-esque type story. Moving on, staying in the NFL, Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Gronkineers. You see what I did there? All right, yeah, so that was my little gag. Tampa Bay, obviously they won it. It was a good game. I picked the Chiefs. I really did. I thought they did have something to prove, and it was up to that defense. I knew Tampa Bay's defense, that front line, if they were able to rush Mahomes, which they did, that was the end of the game. And that's what sealed the deal. I knew that was what to look for. And then they also just shut down Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Like, that was crazy. But, okay, everyone's all on the bandwagon of Patrick Mahomes isn't the great. Like, let's stop this whole thing. And, I mean, I'm never really in the conversation that he should be there yet. He's still young. Like, I mean, he's exciting. It's fun to watch. MVP. He has a lot of records. But, obviously, he's still young. So we would wait on that, on that topic if he's, one of the best. Obviously, Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. He just cemented it for sure. I mean, I don't think anyone can not know that he's the greatest right now. But in moving on, so Mahomes, though, he played a great game. Like, I thought he played really well. Those throws, like the one where he's running away from defense and he's just diving just before the game, just before he got on the ground, he was diving, threw it, got his receiver right in the helmet, and he didn't catch it. And there's a few of those. I saw like at least 3 or 4 where he hits them directly in the dome on the helmet, and the receiver just never caught it. So obviously, Tampa Bay's defense for sure MVP. I wouldn't have given it to Tom Brady, but I get why they gave Tom Brady the MVP, just because it cements his legacy even more. But honestly, the defense, Tom Brady played great. I'm not saying taking anything away from him. He still made the throws. He still had the passing yards and everything and the touchdowns. But I do believe that defense just completely wrecked one of the greatest offenses in the game right now. And that's really hard to do. And that's not something to, mull over. So it was really fun to watch. It was awesome. I just had a good time. I didn't have any stake in it. Obviously, I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan, hometowns. So it's been a minute since we've been in the Super Bowl. Hopefully we're back there. Another fun thing, if you guys watched it, you did see a streaker. He was, ran through the field, and supposedly, or say allegedly, I guess you could phrase it, is he put a bet. Obviously, it's an illegal bet. No, you can't just go down to FanDuel or, any Vegas betting or anything like that. Oh, hi, Gingy. Anyways, that's the other cat, Gingy. So he put a bet on him to, I think it was a bet was if there would be a streaker in the Super Bowl. So it was really funny that he would put a bet, obviously, on himself, knowing he would probably do it. So he supposedly won $375,000 on the bet. And obviously it's a, low-end illegal bet from some random dude that he met at a bar or something. I don't know what it was. There's no specifics, obviously, because it's illegal betting. But, I mean, he won it. And then I did see, I believe, the bail for getting the charge for running on the field, and he had to make bail was like $5,000. So this guy probably went away with $370,000. That's crazy. Obviously, he's going down as one of the streakers in the Super Bowl. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think there should be some harsher punishments for that. But I mean, I'm sure he's banned for every NFL game future going forward. It was funny to see. I mean, he did pretty good. He was going up. He juked one of the security guards, and he fell over. But then one of the plays of the game, he was going right towards the end zone, and one of the security guards came out of nowhere, dude, and just smacked him full on tackle. And I don't think he got a touchdown. Everyone was like, "Oh, he got a touchdown!" I think he was down. His knee was down just before the touchdown, just before the end zone. So that was really funny to watch. Move on. If you guys know, obviously I'm a Seahawks fan. If you are a Seahawks fan, you know Marshawn Lynch, one of the most fun players. Marshawn, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Lynch, you know what I mean? I miss him. He was a running back for the Seattle Seahawks, and he did play when we won the championship and went back to back and did lose the second time against the Patriots. And he's obviously retired now. He did go down to the Raiders for a little bit. He did come back to Seattle for one season, trying to win it again for old time's sake. But then he did retire, and he's just a great dude. I saw him. He was on the Pat McAfee show. I love to watch that. Shout out Pat McAfee show. If you guys are really into sports, go watch that one. He's up on YouTube and all that. He was up on there, and he's just a super awesome dude. Like, he's just so funny. He's literally the funniest guy. He was on like Bear Grylls. What's that outdoor? Oh man, why do I not know that? It's like, the outdoor with Bear Grylls or whatever, where you go, for like a day trip or something with Bear Grylls. He was on that, and he's super funny. That was really awesome to see him before that. So he's just doing different TV stuff and different gigs. But he's also giving back to his community. I did see he gave out like multiple turkeys, full turkeys to people. He would just like walk around. I believe he was in his hometown of Oakland. He was walking around just giving them to cars during COVID for Thanksgiving. And that was super awesome just to see. He's always giving back, and I love all that he stands for, dude. He's just a great dude so far that I don't know him personally, but he seems like an awesome dude, and I love to see that. He is also now a broadcaster. He was doing broadcasting for the new indoor football league that's on Fox. It was a fan-voted league. So I didn't quite get to watch it because it was like this weird timing, but I know Johnny Manziel was playing, and so some of these, like, I don't know if they're all like ex-NFL players or there's some random, players, but I guess what the premise is that I believe it was up on Twitch too or something like that, so fans can go on there and vote for like the next play, and they can run it, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have to do way more research on it because it just came out. And it's this brand new thing, but he was on there as he was on broadcasting it, and he's such a funny dude. Oh my goodness. So I just want to shout out Marshawn Lynch for that one. That was super cool. Move on. Let's go into some crazy trade talks. Obviously, I don't think I ever got into this since I haven't done an episode in a minute. NFL, it's a little bit older news, but it's still big. Los Angeles Rams did trade Jared Goff for 2 first-rounders and 1 first-round pick as well. Yeah, 2 first-rounders and a 3rd-round pick for Matt Stafford and Detroit Lions. For the Detroit Lions. So, obviously, they switch quarterbacks. Detroit gets 2 picks and 2 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick for Matt Stafford going to the Rams. Super exciting. I mean, I didn't see it coming. I really didn't. But at the same time, I mean, I knew Stafford was on the move, and a lot of teams wanted to see that. But at the same time, I didn't really see Jared Goff being moved since he did play well. He beat the Seahawks with like 1 finger broken or something like that. I thought he played pretty well. I mean, he hasn't done as much since his Super Bowl run, but maybe we'll see. He is now Detroit Lions, so he's going to Detroit with that new, all new coaching staff and GM, and then Stafford is going to the Rams. So that's going to be very interesting to see. The Rams are going to be deadly in the NFC. They're going to be deadly. I'm kind of worried about the Hawks. I really am. The Seahawks, they have a very like in-depth, very deep league, and so it's going to be really hard to win the NFC. And I don't know, like the Rams we have in our division, the Rams, we have the 49ers who, I mean, I don't know, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the quarterback. I know they've been searching for one, but they also obviously still have the Arizona Cardinals coming on the come up with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. That offense is always on fire. So I don't know exactly what we're going to do with that and what it's going to look like, but it's going to be interesting. So Matt Stafford is now Los Angeles Rams. Jared Goff is now on the Detroit Lions. So big moves. Seems like every quarterback in the league right now is on the move or wants to be. Obviously we've talked about Deshaun Watson. Aaron Rodgers on the move, Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold, Derek Carr, and Marcus Mariota on the Raiders. They both were in trade rumors. Dak Prescott and Russell Wilson is now in trade rumors. So it's like, it seems like everyone's like, oh, let's switch teams. Let's go on a new quarterback. I don't know how it's going to shake out. It could be like some crazy blockbuster deals coming up, but I honestly doubt it. I kind of doubt it. I think, obviously, Aaron Rodgers staying pat. I don't think anything was from it. I think maybe he was thinking in the back of his head, maybe. But he has a good team. He has a good thing going for him. They were one win away from the Super Bowl. I don't think he's going to try anything crazy and try to force his way out. Carson Wentz, if there's a suitable team, I do believe he will be moved in a heartbeat. I'm pretty sure the Eagles want to move on from him. I just don't know what he's going to offer in return for the Eagles. I don't think he's worth two first rounders and a third rounder like Stafford. I don't think. Maybe one first rounder with him. Maybe a player swap. I don't know, like a QB swap, because he does have a bad contract and he is been hurt. So I'm not really sure if that's gonna really take any wings because they're up on their Eagles. But that one is probably likely if the right things fall in place. I know for sure Eagles will move him in a heartbeat because there's just some falling out with the head coaches and him. Sam Darnold on the Jets. I don't believe they're going to move him. I don't believe that he is going to. I think he's going to be the Jets' starting quarterback next year because I would have had a different idea, obviously, if they got the first round pick, the first pick overall, I should say, and they would have picked up a new quarterback from the draft, obviously from Clemson, but I don't think now that they fall to 2, I believe they're pick 2, the Jaguars are number 1, so they're obviously going to pick him if he falls to 2, I guess. But that's the only thing I can see. If they pick up a quarterback that they know in the draft that they want to go forward with, then I can see it. But as of right now, I believe Sam Darnold will be the starting quarterback of the Jets. I don't think he had that bad of a year, too. Like, the Jets are terrible, so anyone will play terrible. You could put Patrick Mahomes on that team. They're not winning. I'm just sorry. They don't have a good organization. So I don't think the quarterback is a problem, but everyone always thinks that QB is the number one thing, which it could be. It's a big position, but I don't think that's how it will be. And then another move, obviously Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota, they're both on the Raiders. I don't think they're going to move on from Derek Carr. I know Coach Gruden was, talking great things about Derek Carr, how he was training with Peyton Manning, the sheriff, you know what I mean? So he was training with him this new, IQ-based training where he was going to be able to easily pick out plays and see the defense and read a lot better, which I'm sure could help. I think, honestly, Derek Carr is a great quarterback. I don't really think the Raiders have any problems with the quarterback. And then their backup, Marcus Mariota, I love Marcus Mariota. He was from Oregon, obviously, so he's an Oregon guy from Hawaii as well. I love him. I think he's a great quarterback. I think when he came in the league, he did get drafted by the Titans, and at that time he went through, I believe, 2 or 3 offensive coordinators. So it was really tough to get into a rhythm. You know what I mean? If you keep switching up your offensive coordinators, imagine trying to learn a whole new playbook every single year while trying to, work it out with your teammates, while trying to win games, while trying to be up to the level of a, very high pick. You know what I mean? So it's going to be tough. I think that is likely to happen, though. I do believe. I personally would, if I was the Raiders, not move him in the sense of Derek Carr does get injured. So if you could keep him, obviously Mariota is the highest paid backup quarterback in the league. So I could see that why maybe they want a cheaper backup quarterback and then they could trade him for another piece that they need. That might be a good idea, or maybe a pick that they know that they can get a good draft pick out of. So I do believe Marcus Mariota will be on the move. I don't think Derek Carr. I think he's staying pat with the Raiders. Dak Prescott's another one. I know he's in the news the last few years. They have been franchise tagging him which is, I believe, like 32 million. Like he's not making chump change. Franchise tagging is a lot of money, and it's close to his market value, I do believe. You know what I mean? Obviously, he would, if he had a longer contract, he would get a little bit more, but it's not that bad per year. So he's not hurting for money. He's still making a lot of money. Unfortunately, he did go down with that gruesome injury this year, but he is on pace to come back. I don't hear anything negative about his recovery, so that's awesome. I pray that he comes back. Obviously, I don't want anyone injured. So I think Dallas is gonna just franchise tag him again. They're gonna try to run him again. I don't think he has any leverage this time. I really don't. Since he was injured, I'm not sure if he would be able to command that big contract. As much as I would love to see him get paid, I think he has been playing really well, and I think he has been putting up the right numbers. But I don't think the Cowboys are, Jerry Jones is, all about the money. And so I don't see it happening. I think it's just another franchise tag. It's going to be interesting to see, though, if he tries to sit out. I think because of the injury, he won't be able to do any protesting for for his contract and be, sit it out, because he wants to come back. And I'll give him credit. He didn't sit out. He didn't complain in the season. He played really hard, and that's really commendable. And I do love to see that. I personally would pay him just because he's an upstanding dude. I think he just is all about the Cowboys, and he wants to win. And I don't know what else you want there as a QB, especially not now. Unless if you can trade for someone else that's a great QB, I don't see it happening. I don't think anyone wants Dak Prescott, though. Not at that level. And then another one, obviously, Russell Wilson, my Seahawks. He was on blast, put the Seahawks on blast. He was on the Dan Patrick show, and he obviously was asked if teams are calling for him, and he said probably, and then he did put his team on blast. He says, I need a better offensive line. And as a Seahawks fan, a lifelong Seahawks fan, I've been saying that since the beginning, bro. Since he got into the league, he has been sacked so many times. Let's see. Wilson has been sacked 394 times in 9 seasons, including 47 times in 2020, and he was sacked a league high 48 times in 2019, and took a career high 51 sacks in 2018. So this guy's running for his life every single season. I would love to see him get an offensive line. I mean, I know it hasn't been on the radar for some reason. I believe we did. I think we did draft one offensive line player this last draft, so I will give them credit for that. They've been trying to draft it, but it's obviously not working. We might need to do some trades to get an offensive line, especially to make Wilson happy. I don't see him as forcing his way out just yet. I haven't seen anything. This is the first time I've ever seen him really complain too much. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Maybe, Sierra wants a different lifestyle. I don't know, a different city. But I'm sure Russell Wilson's going to stay as a Seahawks. I really hope so. The only trade that I would love, I was thinking about this. If we had to trade him, I would trade him for Deshaun Watson. I really would. I think I would trade him for Deshaun Watson and one of their offensive line players. That'd be ideal, because obviously we get Deshaun Watson. He's younger. They have both like max contracts, so money's probably a wash. But they're both great players. They're kind of the same, somewhat similar. Russell Wilson runs more than Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson is a mobile quarterback. He's got a good arm. Obviously, he's younger, so I would love him in that sense. I think Russell Wilson, even though he's in his prime right now, who knows how long that would be. We can have a guy in his prime for a few more years, even longer than that. So that's the only thing I can think of is Russell Wilson, a trade for Deshaun Watson. I would have to throw in another. I mean, maybe if it's with another pick, like a first round, it'd have to be a couple of first rounds, right? Stafford got 2 first rounds and a third. So as much as they're swapping great quarterbacks, I'm guessing Seahawks. I don't know. I don't know if Houston might just play it hardball. That'd be tough. But I would love, like I said, to get like Tunsil or something on the offensive line and Deshaun Watson for Russell. Otherwise, Do not trade him for any quarterback. I will literally stop being a Seahawks fan. I literally will. I don't see any other quarterback that I would love. I really don't. I don't know. Maybe for the first overall pick, so we can pick up Tyler Lawrence from Clemson. Maybe I'll think about that and be happy just because we save a lot of cap room. And I know we could put all that into an offensive line and that defense, which is been pretty good. But I do believe, we do need to put a lot of money into our O-line, and I've been saying that for years. And I'm kind of glad in a sense that Russell Wilson did call him out. But at the same time, maybe he has. I assume that he's been saying this to them for a while now, and he indoors, and under wraps, and then obviously now he's going to put him on blast because they haven't been listening to him, and he does kind of deserve that star power at this point. JJ Watt has now been released from the Houston Texans. Houston, Texas. And so we'll see where he goes. Obviously the Texans are not looking great. Obviously Deshaun Watson wants out. JJ Watt wanted out. And so they did release him. He could go to either the almost undefeated Steelers of last year. His brother TJ Watt is on the team, who was like second place in the defensive player of the year. Who Aaron Donald from the Rams did win that award this last year, but TJ Watt was right there. And a lot of people thought that he should have won it. So TJ Watt and JJ Watt both on the line. Woo! That'd be scary. That would be really scary. And I think, JJ Watt will have to go somewhere. He's a little older, a little more injury prone. So he will have to go somewhere with a rotation in a sense. He can't play every single down. That's just too much on his older body. But he's explosive and awesome. I would love him on the Seahawks. But I was looking at our defense, and we're actually not the worst, obviously. But where we're good at is we're 5th overall in rush TDs and 9th overall in rush attempts. So we're really good with the rush, but then we are 32nd with pass TDs and passing yards, giving up. So obviously we don't need a front line as much as I love him on there. And our rush defense would probably be number 1 with him on there. We would really get to after the ball. Maybe if you can want to do a all-out blitz kind of a thing, but I doubt it. I think we'd have to go for our back line on the defense and shore up that 32 overall passing TD and passing yards. That's bad. That's really bad. We give up too many big plays over the top, so that's going to be interesting to see. I think that TJ Watt he's either going to go to Green Bay or the Steelers. Green Bay was his childhood team. He is from Wisconsin. Wow, why did I say Minnesota? He is from Wisconsin, the Green Bay. And so he did have a bunch of Green Bay memorabilia growing up, so he might want to play there in his hometown with Aaron Rodgers. That'd be really awesome to see. They would use him. Or the Steelers. I think that's the only 2 places he's going to go. And we'll see where he, if they want to sign him or not. I'm hoping JJ Watt, gets on the team soon. Let's move on to the NBA. The Portland Trailblazers did just beat the Philadelphia 76ers, which is number 1 overall, the other night, about 3 nights ago, I believe. And then last night we did play the they beat them 118-114 over the Sixers. That was pretty big. And then 118 over the Mavericks just last night. Dame Dollar did a little pa in between the legs, step back 3, bang, clutch, Dame time. You know what's up. Dame time's always here. I thought he's I think he is the most clutch player in the NFL or NBA right now. I was looking at the stat. I think it was on ESPN. They were talking about him, and he has the most clutch points in the 4th quarter than any other player by a long shot. And so that's really awesome. Obviously, I would love some of those points in the 3rd quarter, Dame. If you can, not put us in a hole and then take us out of it at the end. Dude, as a fan, I am dying if we can just get a 2nd and 3rd quarter push. But I do love, Dame time comes in the 4th quarter and does his thing. CJ McCollum is still hurt. I believe he's got at least a few more weeks, if not a month or so, to, come back. We're going to take our time. Zach Collins is still hurt, so he needs to come back. And Nurkic is still hurt, I believe. I think Nurkic might be coming back sooner than later. I hope Zach Collins is really healthy. He's been playing really well the last few years. He hasn't been able to play this season so far because he just got injured just before the end of last season. And so I really hope that he comes back because to our lineup for sure. And then obviously CJ, for sure want him back. But I'm glad that we're winning and we're beating the number one team in the East, the Sixers, and then a really up and coming good Mavericks team in the West, back to back. That's really awesome. Yeah, that'd be really good. Let's go look in this NBA standings as we're going in the NBA. In the East, we have the Philadelphia 76ers at number 1, Milwaukee Bucks at number 2, the Brooklyn Nets with that new big three with James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant. Whew, I almost said Garnett, y'all. That's how much of an old guy I am. And we got Brooklyn Nets in 3rd. We got the Pacers in 4. That's pretty cool. I actually did not see that before. We have the Celtics at 5. We have the Hornets led by LaMelo, Rookie of the Year LaMelo coming in, playing off the bench still, I believe. He might be starting now over because Devontae Graham is injured, so I believe he might be starting. But LaMelo Ball has got him up at 6th place. And then the Knicks are falling to 7th. The Raptors at 8. And then Heat are at 9, just outside. So it's so close. The East is within games of each other. The top seeded is only 18 wins, and the 15 seed is 7 wins. So obviously still a young season, but yeah. Oh, the Wizards though at the bottom. They're at 15 in the East, and I really didn't see them being that bad. I really didn't. I didn't see them. Obviously, there's still more to play, but Russell Wilson he's been getting stats, but he's been playing like trash. Bradley Beal is dropping 50 points every other night, and they still can't win. I feel so bad for him. I respect him, though. He wants to stay. He wants to stay in that. But I did predict that the Wizards would probably be up in the bottom of that, maybe just outside the playoffs, if not maybe, trying to get in. But it doesn't look like they're in last place in the East, so they're bad. Let's go over to West. Number 1, the Utah Jazz just replaced the Lakers at the top. The Lakers are right behind them. With number 2, we have the Clippers right behind them at 3. The Phoenix Suns at 4. They've been playing really well. Devin Booker has been cooking it. Chris Paul's been playing all right. He hasn't been injured. That's a really fun team to watch. We got my Blazers at 5. They've been moving up. I'm so glad they're up at 5. They were like at 8 for a minute there. And then we've been playing. We have now won 4 in a row. And the Suns won 6 in a row on a win streak. The Jazz are won 7 in a row. So we have a lot of win streaks in the West. So it's kind of interesting. I think it's because they've been playing some Eastern teams. So they haven't been able to beat each other up with the win streaks. Let's see. Move on to the 6th is the Spurs. So they're still in playoff contention with Popovich still there. And then we got the 7th is the Nuggets, which they're on a 3-win win streak. But I honestly thought the Nuggets would be better. I thought they would be top 4 for sure. Jokic is having an MVP type season, but I don't know if I haven't been able to see any of their games, but I'm not sure exactly why they're losing some of these games. They're only 15 and 11. But Trailblazers at 16 and 10. So it's so close. We're all within a game on that top, 5 through 9. So it's pretty crazy. The Warriors rounded out at 8 right now. Steph Curry's playing phenomenal. Best shooter in the NBA, right? He's been playing lights out. I love watching him be back and healthy. I really wish Clay was back. He is killing me over there on the sidelines, dude. I know he wants to play. I can see it. He's getting frustrated sometimes. And nothing is worse than being sidelined for an injury and having to watch, your team go in there and battle without you. It's awful. And then we got, the Warriors at 8, Grizzlies, Mavs, Kings, Pelicans, the Rockets, Thunder, and Timberwolves. So, yeah, it's definitely close in the West as well. I think it's going to stay around the same. I do believe that this is actually going to be how it finishes. I would love the Trailblazers to go up, but the Suns are really on the roll. If the Trailblazers stay hot and we stay healthy, we could move up to 4. I would be so happy with that. 5 is fine. I'm chilling at 5. We just can't let Spurs and the Nuggets catch fire. They're right behind us on our heels. Let's move on over to the NBA MVP ladder. So right now we got NBA MVP. Top one is LeBron James, Los Angeles Lakers. No surprise there. He's been averaging 25.5 points per game, 7.9 rebounds, and 7.9 assists. This is going to be interesting. I do know Anthony Davis has been ruled out for 2 to 3 weeks due to aggravating an Achilles injury. So it's going to be definitely up to LeBron James to be playing and to be winning these next few games. So I think that will definitely cement his status at being up there, ranked number 1. I think he's been playing awesome, and he's 16th season, I believe, right? I want to say it's his 16th season. He's been playing for forever, and he's number 1 in the NBA MVP ladder. So that's pretty awesome in the rankings. I don't think he's going to win it, though. I don't. A bold move. Joel Embiid, the 76ers, if they stay and they keep the number 1 seed or number 2 seed, definitely if they keep the number 1 seed in the East, I think Joel Embiid will win MVP. I think he will. He's averaging 29.1 points per game, 11 rebounds per game, 1.3 blocks per game, and 1.3 steals per game. So he's giving you 30 and 11 every night and giving you defense as well, almost 2 blocks and 2 steals. That's pretty impressive. And he's staying healthy this year. It's really awesome to see them. Obviously, he scored 35 and the Blazers lost this last Thursday. But it's been really good to see him healthy, and he's been playing awesome. Third overall is Nikola Jokic, the Joker from Denver Nuggets. He's averaging 26.9 points per game, 11.3 rebounds per game, 8.6 assists per game, and 1.6 steals per game. So he's giving you everything. This guy is a stat stuffer. I'd put Jokic and LeBron are like the same in the sense of they're both stat stuffers. Like they get everything. They can drop 50 on you, but they can also drop like 20 rebounds on you. They can also drop 20 assists on you. You know what I mean? You just don't know in a given night. Jokic was averaging a triple-double for a while there. He's dropped down to 8 assists per game. So he's got to get up. It's 8.6. So he's got, 1.4 to go, and he's almost a triple-double. So if he stays at that level, I think he will be definitely in contention, but the Nuggets have to play better. They have to move up. Like I said, they were only in the 7th seed. I think they have to be in the top 4, top 3 for him to win that. Unfortunately, I love Jokic, but I don't see it happening. Number 4, the Brooklyn Nets. We got Kevin Durant playing awesome, out of his mind. I love having him back. Super exciting to have Durant in the NBA. I don't think he's going to win it, though. He's averaging 29.5 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, and 5.2 assists per game. I think if it was before the James Harden trade, he would win it. He could have a chance of winning it. I think after the James Harden trade, the story's not there. He's playing with 2 other All-Stars. He won't be able to win it. I really don't think so. Unless they just move up miraculously to the top seed, which they actually could. It's really easy. They're only in 3rd. They're right there. And I think that'd be close. I would say, Joel Embiid's in my top right now. And LeBron and Jokic are right there. And then Durant. I think so far, that's where I would put him. Kawhi Leonard in the Los Angeles Clippers, 26.5 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, 5.1 assists per game, and 1.8 steals per game. So I don't think Kawhi Leonard is going to win it. The Clippers are only in 3rd place, I believe. Let me go back. 3rd place. I think they're going to stay at 3rd or 4th. I don't think they're going to beat the top team or the second best team. I really don't. So I don't think he's going to win it just because I think his team has to be number 1 for him to win it. I really do. He's playing with Paul George. That's my thing. Like, if you're playing with these amazing players next to you, there's no knock to you. Go win the championship. That's what you're there for. You're not in the contention for MVP. You know what I mean? LeBron James, I'll give him a slight edge on that one since he is with Anthony Davis, but they're two different, he's a post Anthony Davis, and then LeBron's more of a wing point guard. Obviously, he can play every position. So I see that as more of a team, you know what I mean? So I can see LeBron winning MVP because he's more of a team player. But I don't see Kawhi and Paul George, they play generally the same position. They're not going to, that's too many people on there. So I'd rather move Dame up, honestly. We have 6 is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't think he's going to win it. The Bucks are underperforming. They're still in second, but I don't think they're not flashy as much as they were before, which I think is good for them in the playoffs. I really do think for finals run, this is where they will be deadly because they aren't number one. And Giannis isn't in MVP conversation really. He's 6th. You know what I mean? So I think all of the added pressure is off. It's going to be off this year, and I think that's going to really help the Bucks. Steph Curry's at 7. Yeah, I see that. He's literally taking Draymond Green and, who else do they have? Wiseman, who's injured right now, I believe. He's taking Kelly Oubre. He's taking... I don't even know. I don't know all the players on the Warriors because they keep changing them so many times. So Steph Curry, for sure. I think he's above Giannis. I'm going to go LeBron, Jokic, Durant, and then I'm going to go Steph Curry. I'm going to go Damian Lillard, too. This guy, obviously, my boy, Damian Lillard, I might be a hometown bias, but he's playing out of his mind. He's the most clutch player in the NBA. He's literally putting the team on his back right now with CJ gone. He doesn't have an all-star that he plays with. So he should get MVP. He should be up there for sure. And then I see Luka is 9. I see Luka going up. And then Paul George at 10. So none of the Clippers, Kawhi, Paul George, you can't win it. I'm sorry. I wouldn't vote for you. Luka Doncic, if the team plays better, they're not even in the playoff contention, so Luka shouldn't even be on this list. I'm sorry. I think you have to make the playoffs to be MVP. I really do. So I think that would be my lineup. It'd be really interesting to see, obviously. This just in, obviously the NBA All-Star Game is on its way. March 7th is when they slotted that in. It's going to be a very interesting one-day event. So you know how they always had the All-Star Weekend, but now it's just one day. Obviously due to COVID, and that's how they worked it out. That's how some of the players weren't wanting to play, and just risking it just for an All-Star Game. I think I like that they're playing. I think they have enough testing and they have good protocols in place. Obviously, they haven't seemed to have any issues with COVID in the sense of high risk for them and their family. It seems like I haven't looked at it too much, but there hasn't been any breaking stories. So I do love that they have an all-star game. They're going to play it all in one day. So the skills challenge and the 3-point contest is going to come pre-game. And then they're going to have the all-star game. And then in the halftime of the all-star game, they're going to have the dunk contest, which I don't really see working. They do know the dunk contest goes like 2 hours, 3 hours, right? I mean, I guess if you only have a couple of dunk contestants, maybe. I'm not really sure who's in that conversation. Hey, Derrick Jones Jr., let's put in a ballot for, Blazers. I know he was in it the other day. Or I think he was in it either last year or the year before. Let's go back. You know what I mean? Let's go back to dunk challenge. So I don't know. It's gonna be awesome. I love the All-Star Weekend. It's fun. It's exciting. I hope it's a good little fanfare. I think we need it in the time right now. In that sense, I mean, obviously the players have all the right to say whatever they want to say, but they're playing these games. They can make it safe. So if they can do it and they seem to have agreed to it, I would love it. It's as a fan, it'd be awesome to see LeBron and Giannis, I believe, Kevin Durant. LeBron and Kevin Durant are the top two. East and the West guards voted in. Dame's moving up though. I don't think he's in the starting lineup, but he is moving up in the All-Star voting. So vote Dame in if you want him in to see him in the All-Star game. It's gonna be awesome. And so that wraps it up today. Thank you for tuning in to At the Buzzer Radio. Go ahead and like and comment and subscribe to my YouTube at the Buzzer Radio as well. and then on my Instagram at the Buzzer Radio, and up on Spotify as well. You know, I got the whole podcast audio up there, and I got the video up on Instagram and on YouTube. Yeah, thank you for all your love and support. For trying to do more episodes, obviously get my dad on here. Life is crazy, so bear with me, but I love doing this, and there's another episode in the book, and yeah, so we'll see you on the flippity flop.
Are you listening?